Hello, people. Welcome back to the Proper Podcast. And yes, we're just giving you special guest after special guest after special guest. And this week is a very special guest. He's fresh from Saudi. He's been pole vaulting over the ropes. He's now a massive media name. It's Liam Cameron.
I'm in elite
What's
club
going
now,
on?
aren't I? Special entrances. I've never had it before. I've never had it this good.
Good man, yeah. You have become a massive name after the Ben Whittaker fight. We all knew about you before. We know you're a solid fighter. We know you had the little hiatus and whatnot, and you come back now and you're rejuvenating your career. And yeah, good on you, man. We want to know all about what you're up to, man. We want to know all about that Ben Whittaker fight, and we want to know all about what's next, mate. So first of all, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good, to be fair. I don't even know how long it's been. It's been 2-3 weeks since fight. I've been dragged pillar to post for interviews. But yeah, I'm just soaking it in. It's 25 years this are hard work. People don't see that, what goes on. People just look at your record and think, oh, he's had 6 losses. But they don't know the ins and outs of 6 losses. I'm a fighter what comes to win. I lost early at like middleweights and stuff and middle, so killing myself at weights. I'm a lot better fighter than what I've ever been.
Absolutely, yeah, man. So the Ben Whittaker fight, the biggest profile fight of your career so far?
Yeah. Do you know what it were? I didn't expect anything, to be fair. It's been mad. No one predicts going over ropes. And like that just put a little cherry on top to it to get more publicity. I didn't expect it, and it's been mad. I went to a boxing show the day. So I've gone to boxing shows before and no one knows, man. I used to think, look at them boxers, they're getting asked for pictures and stuff. And I was swarmed the day at show. There were 20 people at a time waiting for pictures. It was crazy.
Oh, good for you, man. So, come on, there's no other place to start, Liam. Talk us through that Ben Whittaker fight. Talk us through how you feel the fight was going, the ending, and what's come of it since. And I suppose your opinion on Ben wouldn't go amiss as well, mate.
Yeah, so we're a big build-up in Saudi. I thought, do you know what? He's 8-0. He's not done nothing. I've seen stuff. His last 2 fights. Ben thinks I was lying when I said I've never watched him in Olympics. I only watched his last 2 fights. And his style made me laugh because it was pure taking piss out of his opponents. But it was funny. We all can agree it's funny and it looked good doing it. But the ego, the bad matchmaking all played a part for me. And I thought, I'm going to get this kid. He's not done many 10 rounds. I think I've done 10 rounds 10 times and 12 rounders. So my original plan was to go in there. Obviously, he's going to come out amateur boxer style, be fast, sharp, and that's exactly what I did. But he tired so early on. I'm hand on my heart, I didn't get out of first gear because it were building up to drag him into the trenches later on. And it happened so fast, he were knackered.
Can I quickly say, just on the ropes, because when we see the fight, the next day we done a reaction to it, and then I said, "There's no way on earth Ben Whittaker has pulled Cameron, onto him and gone over the ropes." Then when I watched the fight again, I come back to the pod and I had a different view of it, because when I watched it in slow mo, the way he went back, I looked at his heels, the way they were on the floor, and then it looked like he sort of brought you with him. So I sort of had a little...
his head back up in the air and it goes like that.
Tell us. So for when you've got him then, tell us, as you've gone forward, because you've got your arms up and you are pushing him forward, but what did it feel like? Tell us exactly how you feel that he brought you over the ropes with him.
So with my style, it's to drain your battery tank, and when it's on inside, I'm not wrestling with you, but I'm pushing you back to make you not have momentum. And what happens, first thing we taught as boxers, when you're on ropes, you spring off them, like move round off them. So watching the fight back, he pulls his head back. It never happens in boxing that. He was trying to get out of the fight by low blowing. He was spat his gum shield out. The low blows were crazy. I'm still suffering now from them, but double jab right hand on knackers. It's not good, is it? But he definitely chucked himself off ropes. There's no question about it.
Your trainers and that said it straight away. Grant Smith and I think Dalton Smith was in the corner as well, and
Pierce
everyone was
Goodwin.
shouting it straight away.
So it all happened so fast. I could feel he couldn't have lasted 10 rounds just on his gas tank alone, never mind me going up the gears. I was surprised, honestly, I don't want to talk down on him. It was so easy how it unfolded after 2 rounds. He were knackered, he had note in his shots, he were like, when a fighter's tired, they'll go, ah, ah, ah. And they were doing that early on, and they were just noting his shots. I were hitting his body. Just before the rope accident, I hit him with a liver shot, and that took everything out of him. And he just grabs onto me, and he just slings his head back. I'm surprised he's not got whiplash where swinging his head back, to be fair.
I always thought, going from the caliber of opponent that he'd fought, which was nobody, to you, I thought it was a massive jump up. We did a preview show on it. We all said how tough, obviously 6 losses, but you'd never been stopped. I think you said you'd never even been dropped in sparring before. So I'm thinking, how does Ben Whittaker go from knocking over these guys? He weren't even knocking anyone over. He was going the distance. With Ezra, he went the distance, right? So I was always of the opinion it might be too much of a step up in terms of making him look good. Who made that matchup? Did they approach you, or was it your team approach them?
So this is how the fight happened. Lee in message for me, he went, do you want Ben Whittaker fight? But I've got that personality where I've got quite no emotions. So he asked me, and he was shocked at me, surprised. I just said yeah. I weren't excited. Just a couple of days later, you've got fight. It's gonna have to get announced by Saudis. Then they'll announce it in a couple of weeks. So I'm sat here. I'm not going to set dodgy box in this bedroom. What trying to get it on, but it's buffering. So I thought, I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to go on my phone. Then I look. Then that Turkey Al Sheikh, His Excellency guy, announces it on Bivol Bertobiev card, and I'm like, I'm shaking me running all over, telling everyone in house.
That's nuts.
I weren't even bothered about who we're on card, who I'm fighting. I'm more bothered about it's on Bertobiev undercard.
And you know what? Now, in hindsight, all this stuff over the ropes, the way it unfolded is probably... I mean, I personally think you was going to stop him in the next 2 or 3 rounds anyway.
100%.
I totally, you could see that, and I think he knew that. But in a way now, I think going over the ropes in the way that you did, the rematch has to happen. I don't think he can come back and fight anybody else. I don't think he can. He has to fight you again. So I think it's made the rematch enormous. And
if he takes the rematch, have you heard from Ben Whittaker any? Have you heard anything? Nothing. No, your team, has anyone heard anything from him?
No, we've not heard nothing from him. I didn't know him anyway. I know Dalton and Junaid used to train with him in GB squad and that. But no one's heard note from him. I don't know what he's doing. So then what sort of, before you go into the fight, like what was the perception of Ben Whittaker? Obviously, the boxing community is small. There's sparring stories that go round. Like, what was you thinking going into it? Is there a view among the boxing community? There's a bit of a hype job. He's raided the bank. He's got this big contract from Ben Shalom, Sky Sports, and he ain't that guy. Was there views that he was a hype job, or did you just reveal that to everyone? No, not really. And on my heart, you have to take an Olympic silver medalist, what's beat everyone in amateur serious. Is a really good fighter. Our strengths was he's not been 10 rounds. He's not fought no one as tough as me. People forget, like, I'm a completely different fighter from going through these bans, from seeing, don't want to go into it too much, deaths and stuff. And it's just made me so mentally strong that anyone what gets in ring with me is going to have an hard night's work. And I know I'm blowing smoke up my own trumpet, but that's how I really feel. And I thought, there's no way this kid's gonna stop me. Which we got told that he had to look good in this fight. He had to stop me, all this, that. But I thought, that ain't gonna happen. But we knew we were gonna be fast and sharp. and which he proved in the first 2 rounds he was.
Can I just say, what in terms of his power and all of the sparring that you've had, all of the fights that you've had, where do you rate his power?
Oh, Lyndon Arthur, my last fight, he's a very good fighter. He could bang like mad, and I walked through every shot. He's accurate. He's fast. If you make mistakes, he will make you pay. But I've had, how many fights I've had? 30 fights professionally. I've sparred everyone. I used to take myself to different locations sparring. I've done all that. So I'm thinking, how many years I've been boxing? Who I've sparred? How many world champions? And this kid's gonna batter me. There's no chance. It's how good Sky want to build someone up. Like I keep saying this phrase, you've got EastEnders, you've got Phil Mitchell. He's an hard nut innit when we're watching EastEnders, but in reality, he's probably a posh man. He's not an hard nut, is he?
Yeah.
You've got Billy Mitchell here, mate. I've seen it. People digging me out.
Do you know what?
Billy Mitchell.
Another thing as well, like he divides opinion, right? Ben does. So I don't want to make this all about Ben. We are going to ask.
No,
you
we
stuff
will
about
move
yourself.
on. Yeah, yeah.
It's my last question, really. Like, it divides opinion, even on our podcast. Like, I was never a massive fan of his antics. What are you laughing at? It's
No,
true,
because
though.
you know what?
It's true. I was never a massive fan.
Me and Sonny, mate, we was riding the old Ben Whittaker
And I was
train.
like, nah. I was like, he needs to do this when he moves up a level. And then when he done his ring walk against you with that music, no backflips, no acrobats, no fireworks. And I was like, well, so you can bully all these like journeymen from Eastern Europe or whatever. No disrespect to anybody, but you get in against someone who's tough, durable, and you just walk in and there's no play acting. I mean, the trash talking before is neither here nor there, but what did you make of his career when you was watching it, the sort of first 4 or 5 fights? Was you on the fence of, I like this is good for the sport? Or was you like, you know what, I can't wait to chin him because I don't like it?
No, I liked it, to be fair. Like I said, I watched his last 2 fights and someone put on, will Ben Whittaker be a world champion? I actually put, yeah, with right matchmaking, right guidance, stays in gym, he can be. Of course he can. He's done it as an amateur, so why can't he as a pro? Just bad matchmaking at that time. People didn't understand. It's funny because they didn't understand. I know I'm blowing trumpet again. I am better than what people think.
Clearly. I think
we knew
none
it.
of us
We knew it
expected it.
anyway.
I mean,
we shouted it out before the fight. We all said it.
We actually wanted.
But we all picked Ben.
Showboat.
Yeah, we did say it'd be a tough night.
On points though, we all said points.
Yeah, we all
I
said
said there's
it,
no
yeah.
way he's stopping him. But he proved a lot of people wrong there, mate.
Liam, just last one on Ben, because we want to talk more about yourself. But obviously the rematch is the one that everyone wants next, all right? You can't argue with that. So when you went over the ropes, you were there, you were on the floor with him, you saw him crawl back in. He's come out of it with an ankle injury and he's come out of it with a sprained neck. So I just want your opinion on that, okay? Just be totally honest. I know you're probably going to say you don't believe it, but did you believe it at the time? Did you not believe it? How do you feel about it now? And where's your head at with it all?
Well, boxers, you got footballers, they go on the floor and they pretend they're hurt. Boxers pretend they don't hurt so they can carry on.
It's a good point.
In a way, he did quit because, come on, Ben Shalom spoke out his legs like a balloon. We've got pictures.
Yeah, we ain't seen them pictures, man.
We've got pictures of him. Got a little tape on his leg. I actually spoke to the guy who smashed his phone. I gave him a FaceTime call. He said he was walking about airport and he ran to him to try to smash his face in, but he got him on video just that last bit.
It don't look good, does it?
It don't look good. If it were me as a person, I'd have come out behind for Ben. I'd have thought, right, I'm just going to be honest. Blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. But what you're saying before the fight is he had the best camp. He's got an ex-army Marine what's doing his strength and conditioning. He's got all the money to put into this. I didn't at the time. I had nothing doing it with my trainer, Pierce. We did the strength and conditioning. I did my own diet. We ain't got money for that. So mine were a bodge job training camp. His has been how many thousands of pounds spent on it, but looks for it before. Now they're coming out with little excuses. He didn't have a good camp. His neck were injured last year. His pinky's hurting, all this, that, other. Just come out and be honest and just say, look, better man, we're beating you on the night. You could have carried on, you didn't. And that's it. You just got to be truthful, aren't you? There's no point. He's just digging himself a bigger hole.
Yeah. So you're with Frank now, with Queensbury, and that comes straight after the fight. And we were all buzzing for you on that because you, dare I say it, Liam, you have been one of the unluckiest boxers who ever lived. So for you to start getting your stars and that now is great to see. Have you had discussions with Frank about what's next and where's the sort of future going now? I mean, hopefully it's the rematch for all of us, but, you know, I mean, it's looking a little bit doubtful as well.
I was sat watching fights and Lee come over to me, my manager, and he went, I've got your promotional deal announcement in the morning. So I went, are you being serious? I've never had a promoter. Whether I've been on promoters shows, I've had to do ticket deals where you sell so many tickets, you pay for your opponent, pay some money to oust, and what's yours is left. And 9 times out of 10, it's no. And I were always on them deals, coming out with a grander fight and stuff. And last since I've been with Lee, it's been unbelievable. I've never seen this boxing side to it. So it's been a struggle, and it's been much easier having a good manager.
Like on that note as well then, so like looking forward, you mentioned it a moment ago. I mean, obviously you want to wait for Ben Whittaker because there could be a lot of money in that fight. But I mean, how long are you going to wait? Are you going to get out again?
Yeah. I don't know. I've had a couple of weeks off. Don't forget, I've only been back 1 year. So like when I fought Lyndon Arthur, ex-world champion who took Bivol points, I worked that with 9 months back boxing. Now it's been a year. There's going to be improvements. I've got to look at stuff to add to my game. I've got to keep getting better. My end goal is to get an house to provide for my kids, because when I was younger, we didn't have that uplift in life. Not saying my mum and dad did everything for me, which they did, but we didn't have that money side of things, and I want to do it for my kids and get them a good education and stuff.
It's brilliant, man. And did you speak? Hopefully, you spoke to Turkey out there, because he's obviously seen you now. He's seen what you can do, even though it got a bit halted, it got a bit stopped short. Hopefully, you got. Just praying you get that Saudi opportunity again, man, against Ben, because there's nothing else that everyone wants. Other than that, though, there's Louis Edmondson. Dan Aziz lost, but there's Anthony Yard. He didn't have a great performance the other day, so don't know if that Buatsi fight's happening. There's who else is there? Even Lyndon Arthur rematch after the way you performed the other day. So there's plenty of opportunities.
Any one of them, to be fair, any one of them. We all know that I'm not shy away from taking fights, so that's not a question. It's any one of them. I ain't had no speaks with Franks. I ain't had no talk with Lee about anything yet. So maybe they've got a plan for me, what I ain't asked about yet. So we'll see.
Can I quickly say then, because like we did say this before the fight, like we sort of looked into your story, and it's a mad story, and this is why we love boxing. It's like your story is sort of boxing. It embodies the struggle of life that people go through, and you can physically see someone go through that, go in the ring, put it on the line, and then achieve something in their career or in their life. So there's people that's probably watching this that don't know maybe a bit of your story. If you don't want to go into it, then fine. But just I know it could take. You could probably write a book about what's happened, but just sort of roughly go into it, just in case people don't know it, to just let them know what's happened throughout your life to get to that point to end up sort of where you are, this sort of media storm.
So we'll rewind. I won Commonwealth. Got to defend it. I had a late change of opponent. So my promoter at the time, manager at the time who were promoting the fight, said, do you want drug testing? It's £1,000. It will come out the purse. So I went, yeah, of course, yeah, 100%. So I knew there were a drug test 10 weeks out from this fight. Come out my purse, the money. So I had that fight, 1 second round knockout, defended my title. I were in bed, just got up. My dad phoned me kicking off, so I'm thinking, what's happening here? So he's saying, you're going to get banned from boxing. Big booklet like that from UCAD. So I'm looking at name, what is it? So it says benzoylecgonine or something like that. So I'm thinking, right, what's this name? So I've Googled it. It says a metabolic acid of cocaine. Long story short, I phoned UCAD up, kicking off, wondering what's happening. So we go down to River Thames fight case. So we've got all this knowledge that and handling ticket money. It were a minute trace, don't forget. It weren't a notable amount. It was a tenth of a recreational line, they've said. So I don't know how many.
Bloody hell.
That's what it were. So it were 20 odd nanograms. So we've got nanograms of milligrams and grams. So it was so small. So I drew the court case. But in order to get unbanned, you have to win the court case by 51%, where I got 50%. There's been other people what works on buses. You Google it, bus driver banned from cocaine. He gets so much. You don't get notes, do you, at buses? So he thought his case ended up coming out with compensation and stuff and got his job back. There's been people what test positive where it's a known fact. So that was case. That's only what I could think of. So, cut a long story short, went to pub and I got hooked on stuff and booze and I ended up becoming a monster. Got fat as hell, 128 kilo. I ended up, after a couple of years of doing it, ended up having an overdose and I thought I was going to die. Ambulance, I couldn't see, I was going in and out of consciousness. I was having a fit, seizure, whatever it's called. My hands were going up in the air and I'm thinking, what's happening here? I can remember being in back, they injected me with something. So I can remember being back at ambulance thinking, I just could think of my kids and my family, what have I done? What have I done? I've killed myself. That were it. I thought I was going to die. So, I said, listen, praying to God, if I can survive this, I won't touch a drop of alcohol again. I promise. So, yeah, I had that much stuff in my system. She says, can't believe you're not dead. She took me in this room. They were concerned. They said, listen, what you been doing? You need help. And she gave me a nug before I went, and she went, "You can do this. You've got this." And for someone to say that to me, cared, it made me cry. I was fighting tears back, and I'm not a crier. I'll cry to a sad film, but I'm we all like that. I'm not like a crier, and ended up surviving it, and I've not had a drink for nearly 2 years in January.
Oh, good for you, mate.
Congratulations, mate. Listen, I've got to ask, your ban.
It's ridiculous.
When you see someone
4 years.
But how do you feel when you see Tyson Fury didn't get a ban for cocaine, and yet you got a 4-year ban for cocaine? And I'm sure there's other boxers, and it was all to do with the it was in the jurisdiction, wasn't it? Whereas one was in competition and one was out of competition, but. It's much of a muchness, isn't it? It's
absolute
bollocks. That's what it is.
Watching them all get 6 months. Well, my ban now, because the fuss has kicked up, you only can get 3 months ban for that now.
Fucking hell.
And you have to do a week rehab, and you get that ban. So it's all changed. So we were trying to say, well, can't mind be that, but because it was before the ruling, it couldn't change. So I weren't allowed to train in a professional gym. I weren't allowed to have any part in boxing. I actually went to a professional gym training and I got a threatening letter saying, we will double you 4 years to 8 years. So I had to stop training. I joined a gym. I think it was Ponds Forge near where we live. And I just couldn't maintain it. Drink took over. And yeah, people said, why didn't you stay at training till your bum were up? It's hard. You've got no motivation. A fight day is everything to a fighter.
So what was when did the Rocky music come in? Like, what was the moment when all of a sudden, was it when the band finished? You said, right, this is it. I'm going to try and get my career back together. Like, was it a conversation with someone? Like, when did you decide to get back into it?
I went to gym. What it were, I went. Everyone were laughing at me when I said I was coming back, fat as a pig. Didn't really take me serious. So I ended up going to the Steel City to watch sparring. I know when you think, oh, I can do that, I think I've still got it. Back in my mind thinking. So they said to me, trainers, Pierce Gudgeon and Grant Smith said, look, do you want to start boxing properly? We'll train you Tuesday. So I said, yeah. But I was thinking, you're not seeing me Tuesday, mate. So it was Monday. They went, see you Tuesday at so-and-so time, thinking, I'm not turning up. I'm going to not turn up. Ended up turning up and not being out since.
Mate, don't let it go now. I mean, I know you won't because you're on the...
Definitely won't.
You're on the
it's
fucking
prime
train
years
now.
It's my prime years. I can't let nothing. There can't be no slip-ups.
These are prime.
And with your fighting style as well, mate, you're going to get a lot of fans because you just come forward and you like to have a tear up, you know what I mean? A very watchable fighter. And I can't wait until you announce a date soon.
It's mad though, isn't it? Because you do all that hard work as a kid and you train so hard and you get judged by taking a loss. But them losses have helped me for the best, which it shows. And one fight, I've changed my life around. It's mad.
Keep telling your story, mate, because I don't think you can tell it enough, and it's going to inspire a lot of people. And ultimately, as painful as it is, you just got to keep chasing Ben Whittaker because that fight could land on the Riyadh season, on a Riyadh card. Turkey Alley Shape will make it happen. The drama around it, everyone wants to see, is he that guy? Is he a hype job? And I think we all think you've got his number now. I feel like I've seen enough, but yeah, you got to chase it. I think you've got to chase it.
He can't win because if he don't take the fight, he'll get his arse kicked online. And if he takes the fight, he'll get his arse kicked in ring. So he can't win, to be fair. It's an hard one for him.
And he must have a contract with Boxer with fights to fulfill. He must be in a contract. So what, he's just going to go off and fight someone else? I don't see how he can do it.
If it were me, I give props to him because he took the fight and the management, I'm not going to say about his management, it's always promoter, but it was bad matchmaking that.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, from their side, I mean, us fans, we don't want to see him keep fighting.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the people that he's fought, but people are going to call him chumps and journeymen and people that he can easily beat.
Oh, before fight, I were called everything, me as well.
No, not you. I'm saying the caliber of opponent that Ben was facing.
Yeah, I know, but
we all knew you were a test.
They fought another dustbin because they're that used to him fighting dustbins. They thought I were going to be that, and everyone's so shocked that what happened. Honestly, on that performance, and he's not going to get better within a year, I've just got his number 100%. And especially the mental damage what this is going to have done to him.
Are you going to, you probably don't want to give your tactics away, but would you start faster in the rematch?
No, just bang same.
Do it the same.
And you'll be better in the rematch because you've only just really come back from
exactly. And I'll have more training. And like, if you notice, they were a lot bigger than me. It was looking at my body and saying, look at your body, it's like a potato bag. And I was thinking, you don't understand. Do you know the more muscle you have, the more oxygen it has to get into your body, and that tires your heart.
Yeah.
The fittest guys, the worst ones are the thin guys with no muscle. And I'm not the muscliest person, but I'm very strong and can punch. And it just shows you don't listen to what people say. Are your body shape or anything? It's you as a person.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, mate.
Liam, this has been emotional, bruv, and it's been exceptional. And as John says and Kaya says, your story is incredible, and everyone's rooting for you. You've had a rejuvenation from the old Ben Whittaker fight, and we cannot wait to see what's next and where your future goes from here. And it couldn't happen to a nicer bloke.
Thank you.
Everything that happened before is fucking just pure bad luck, but now to see you on the up is wonderful stuff.
Yeah,
So,
thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
thank you, Liam, mate.
And just quickly, where can people? So just on Insta, Liam Cameron.
Liam Cameron Boxer. So that's the story as well. I'll quickly say it. 2 weeks ago, I had 2,000 followers, and now I've got Ian Wright messaging me, all these stars, Declan Rice liking it. Got one of Andrew Tate's mates what are asking me to take me out for a steak and stuff. Crazy. I've had that much free clobber sent to me. I've got a full walk-in wardrobe now.
That's amazing.
Jesus.
Oh, really?
That's amazing.
Yeah, we only charge for a little bit of free clobber, so throw it over here, mate. Yeah, go and follow him, guys. You will. For no other reason, to go over to the Instagram account and see the picture with you and Better Behave. Yeah. Honestly, mate, I would not want to see the pair of
Sheffield
you two down an alleyway, man.
They all laughed at me, didn't they, when I said it?
The Sheffield Beterbiev.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, man. Amazing. Thank you, Liam. And listen, if the boxing don't work out, you've got a career in pole vaulting, bruv, because you're fucking cracking at it. We all thought that the other day.
I've made it when I get ripped by you on your YouTube channel. That's when I've made it. I'm still waiting that day.
Amazing. Cheers, Liam, mate. This has been amazing. Top man.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
All the best to you.
Bye, mate.